Okay, now we'll see about the Rutherford model of an atom. Okay, in the Rutherford model, first of all, you can open your page number 31 in your textbook, and in the textbook you see the picture. In the picture, we have a lid block, and inside the lid block, ये जो बॉक्स में रहता है वही हम लोग लिड ब्लॉक बोलता है. तो लिड ब्लॉक का अंदर में हम लोग एक रेडियो एक्टिव सब्सटेंस डाल दिया. दैट मीन्स दिस रेडियो एक्टिव सब्सटेंस इज द सोर्स ऑफ अल्फा पार्टिकल. तो हम लोग ऑलरेडी पता चला है रेडियो एक्टिव सब्सटेंस होने से उसके अंदर में 3 टाइप के रे है बोल के. तो अल्फा रे, बीटा रे, गामा रे बोल के उधर से हम लोग सिर्फ अल्फा रे को ले लिया. नाउ दिस अल्फा रे इज पासेस थ्रू ए लिड प्लेट. तो लिड प्लेट का अंदर में लिड प्लेट हैविंग वन ए स्मॉल होल्स. तो एक छोटा सा होल रहने वाला एक लिड प्लेट का उधर में डाल दिया. तो लिड प्लेट का व्हेन अल्फा रे पासेस थ्रू दिस होल्स देन इट विल मूव एंड देन ऑन द वे जो हम लोग होल के अंदर में क्यों पास किया है, मतलब आपका नंबर ऑफ अल्फा रे जो है उसको रिड्यूस करने के लिए, सो दैट द इमेज व्हाट यू गेट विल नॉट बी ओवरलैप टू वन अनदर. तो अभी एक पतला सा गोल फॉइल का उधर में ये जो अल्फा पार्टिकल जो है हम लोग उसको स्ट्राइक करा दिया. देन व्हाई वी हैव टेकन गोल and why we cannot take the other metal? For that, as gold is most ductile material, so because of highly ductile you can make a thin sheet, whereas other metals when you make a thin sheet the sheet cannot be thin as much as gold. That is why we have taken gold. So when it passes through this gold foil, then inside the gold foil we have atoms. Atom contain electron, proton, neutron, where electron is negative charge, proton is positive charge, and neutron is nil charge. Whereas this alpha particle is also positive charge, so positive repulsions take place. That is why some of the rays will be bended or deflected from certain angles, whereas the ray which is directly comes to the this positive part proton way will be returned back. So like this here Rutherford performed the experiment. That experiment is called as a alpha scattering experiment. So here this is what about the this Rutherford model. Now let us see it. A stream of highly energy alpha particles from a radioactive sources was directed at a thin foil of a gold metal. The thin foil had a circular fluorescent zinc sulfide screen around it. This fluorescent zinc sulfide screen helped to see this alpha rays falls on the screen. Whenever alpha particle struck the screen, a tiny flash of light was produced at a point. This is what we have done in the Rutherford model. Now let us see about the result. Result means finding. Most of the alpha particle passes through a gold foil and without any deflection. That means the majority of this alpha rays passes in a straight line. A small fraction of alpha particle was deflected by a small angles. That means the alpha ray deflected by a small angle will be in least in number, and a very few alpha particles, that is 1 out of 20,000, bounce back. That means return back. So this is what we get in this Rutherford alpha scattering principle. Now observation. In the first observation is we know that majority of the alpha rays will move in a straight line. That indicates that the space available in the atoms are almost empty. That is why alpha particles move in a straight line without any deflection. Now, as we already know that in the point number 2, small fractions of alpha particle was deflected by small angles. That means a few positive charge alpha particle was deflected. The deflection must be due to the enormous repulsion force showing the positive charge in the atoms. That means this indicates that the positive charge part of the atoms, that is what proton concentrated in a small area. So the ray which comes near the areas of the proton will be deflected. But least number means the area is very small, that is why the number is least. So the positive charge has to be concentrated in a very small volume and that repelled and deflected by positive charge alpha particles. This is what we have seen based on this explanation of this observation. Now let us conclude. So as a conclusion, that means we can say that the positive charge and most of the masses of the atoms was densely concentrated in extremely small regions. The region is called as a nucleus. That means majority of the positive charge and mass of the atoms lies in the nucleus. And the nucleus was surrounded by electrons moving in a very high speed in a circular part. That circular way is called as a orbit. That means the way where the electrons move that around the nucleus is called as a orbit. The electron and the nucleus are held together by an electrostatic force of attraction. As the electron is of negative charge and nucleus is of positive charge because of proton and neutron is of nil charge. So there is a force of attraction which involve positive and the negative. That force of attraction we call as a electrostatic force of attraction. So these are the conclusion of your Rutherford nuclear model of an atom. So based on this one, we can derive the theory that we have seen in your page number 32. You can open page number 32. In the page number 32, that is in the first point, that means in the Rutherford nuclear model, first postulate is the positive charge and the mass of the atoms was densely concentrated in a small region, and this very small portion of the atom is called as a nucleus. And in the second point, the nucleus is surrounded by electrons that move around the nucleus with a very high speed in a circular part called orbit. The electron and the nucleus are held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. This is what these 3 points what we call as a Rutherford model of an atom. Now we will go to the atomic number and mass number. So here we have two parts. One is atomic number, another one is mass number. So atomic number is represented by Z, and that is equal to number of proton present in the nucleus, or you can say that number of electron in the neutral atom. So atomic number is the number of proton present in the nucleus. This is the definition of your atomic number. Now the number of proton and neutron present in the nucleus are altogether called as a nucleons. The number of proton and the neutron in the nucleus are altogether called as a nucleons. This nucleons is the number, that is one of proton and neutron together we call as a mass numbers. It means that number of nucleon is called as a mass number. So mass number is represented by A. So A equal to P plus N, you can say P plus N. and Z equal to P or E. So when you express an elements by using this, now let us take the element x. X is the element. When you want to express the element x by using atomic number and mass number, then you can write as a x equal to atomic number in the your say your instead of x, let us take nitrogen is 714, so n downside 7 upside 14 you need to write as like this one. So atomic number should be in the Z should be in the subscript, and this A should be in the superscript. सुपरस्क्रिप्ट मीन्स ऊपर में जो लिखता है उसको सुपरस्क्रिप्ट बोलेगा, सबस्क्रिप्ट मीन्स नीचे में जो लिखता है उसको ये करेगा. सो ए ऊपर में लिखेगा, जेड नीचे में लिखेगा. दिस इज व्हाट हाउ टू रिप्रेजेंट एन element by using atomic number and the mass number. This is what we have here. Now next we'll have isotopes and isobar. Isotopes and the isobar हम लोग already डिस्कस हो चुका है क्लास 9 में, बट एज ए रिविजन अगेन we'll see it. Now isobars are elements having the same mass number. Mass number A जो है सेम होगा but different atomic number. That is isobars will have same value of A and different value of Z. Whereas isotopes have the same atomic number but different mass number, opposite. Isotopes will have same value of Z and different value of A. So we have three types of isotopes of hydrogen. First one protium, second one deuterium, third one tritium. So all these, in case of protium is 1 that means hydrogen having atomic number 1, mass number 1. That means one proton, one this electrons. Where protium does not have, protium means that is 1. Now deuterium means is 1 2. That means here in case of deuterium, one proton, one neutron is there. That is why is 1 2. Whereas in case of tritium, is downside 1 and upside 3. That means one proton and 2 neutron. So like this. So we have three types of isotopes of hydrogen. Out of this, tritium is radioactive in nature. Tritium is radioactive in nature. Now deuterium is found in nature at the amount of 0.015%, whereas this protium is 11 is obtained in the form of 99.985%, whereas this tritium is in the least amount. So we have like this one. Like that for the carbon also, we have carbon 612, carbon 613, carbon 614. Out of this, carbon 614 is of radioactive in nature. Like this one, for the chlorine also we have chlorine 1735, chlorine 1737. So chlorine have two isotopes. One is mass number 35, another one is mass number 37. So we have different types of isotopes here. Now, as we know that the chemical properties of an atoms are controlled by the number of electrons, which are determined by the number of proton in the nucleus. So the chemical properties of an electrons or chemical properties of an atoms are the properties of your proton only, and neutron does not possess much differences in the chemical properties. So this is what we need to understand. Now drawback of Rutherford model. Drawback of Rutherford model. We'll see it. As in your class 9 you have discussed that when a charged particle moves around a charged particle, then acceleration takes place. Due to this acceleration, the energy of the molecule gradually loses, and this loss of energy makes the orbital smaller and the smaller. At last, the electron collide to the nucleus, and hence the possibility of collapsing nucleus is there, and which may diminish or which may extinct your atoms. But in nature, the atoms are mostly stable. Atoms are mostly stable. So is atom can neither be created nor destroy. So there is the defect in the Rutherford model, and this is the main concept of this drawback of Rutherford model. But in your book you will give it based on gravitational force and your Coulombic force. तो अभी एटॉम जो है हम लोग मैटर है बोल के लेके जाता है, मैटर होने से आपका ग्रेविटी ने इसको अट्रैक्ट करेगा, तो उसको ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स के थ्रू से एक्सप्लेन करेगा इज जी इक्वल टू m1 m2 by r square बोल के, r where m1 and m2 are the masses, or m1 m2 are the masses and r is the radius or distance of separation and g is the gravitational constant. ऐसा करके आएगा. एंड अगेन हम लोग का अभी इलेक्ट्रॉन है, जो इलेक्ट्रॉन को न्यूट्रॉन अट्रैक्ट करता है, तो इसलिए ये कलम्बिक फोर्स के थ्रू से भी एक्सप्लेन कर सकता है. तो हियर के फॉर कलम्बिक फोर्स के इक्वल टू कलम्बिक फोर्स इज इक्वल टू के q1 q2 डिवाइड बाय r2 बोल के, वेयर q1 एंड q2 आर द चार्जेस, मीन्स द पॉजिटिव चार्ज, नेगेटिव चार्ज जो है q1 q2 ने ले लिया, और r जो है डिस्टेंस ऑफ सेपरेशन, दैट मीन्स ऑर्बिटल डिस्टेंस जो है वो r ने रिप्रेजेंट करेगा. k इज द हम लोग का प्रोपोर्शनलिटी कांस्टेंट बोलता है. तो लाइक दिस वन यू कैन एक्सप्रेस थ्रू दिस. So like this, based on these two, we need to discuss it, and remaining part we'll discuss in the next slide. And now we'll have a small rest for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. We'll take a rest, and after then we'll start. Just 5 minutes you wait it. I have a small walk. Now you see in page number 33, that is drawback of Rutherford model. We'll go based on book 1 again. Rutherford nuclear model of an atom is like a small scale solar system, with the nucleus playing the role of the massive sun. Means the nucleus acts as a sun here, and the electrons being similar to the lighter planets. So electron you can assume as a planet. Now further, the Coulombic force, that is k q1 q2 by r square, where q1 and q2 are the charges, r is the distance of separation of charge, and k is the proportionality constant between the electron and the nucleus, is mathematically similar to now gravitational force. So Coulombic force is equal to gravitational force in case of this. Gravitational force is given by your G m1 m2 divided by r2, where m1 and m2 are the masses and r is the distance of separation of the masses, and g is the gravitational constant. When classical mechanics is applied to the solar system, classical mechanics means studies about the movement, that branches we call as a classical mechanics. So when classical mechanics is applied to the solar system, it shows that planet describe well defined orbit around the sun. The theory can also calculate precisely the planetary orbit, and there is an agreement with the experimental measurement. The similarities between the solar system and nuclear model suggest that electron should move around the nucleus in a well-defined orbit. Whenever a body is moving in an orbit, it undergo acceleration, which I have already told. It undergo acceleration, and even if the body is moving with a constant speed in an orbit, it must accelerate because of changing direction. So an electron in the nuclear model describing planet like orbit is under acceleration. According to the electromagnetic theories of Maxwell, charged particle when accelerate should emit electromagnetic radiation. Then we should emit some energy, you can say it. So therefore, an electron in an orbit will emit radiation. This energy carried by radiation comes from the electronic motion. The orbit will thus continue to shrink, means that the orbit become smaller and the smaller. Calculation shows that it should take an electron only in 10 to the power minus 8 s to spiral in the nucleus, but this does not happen. Thus, the Rutherford model cannot explain the stability of an atom. If the motion of an electron is described on the basis of classical mechanics and electromagnetic theory, you may ask that since the motion of an electron in an orbit is leading to the instability of an atom, then why not consider electron as a stationary around the nucleus? If electrons were stationary, then electrostatic attractions between the dense nucleus and the electron would pull the electron towards the nucleus to form a miniature version of Thomson model of an atom. Another serious drawback of the Rutherford model is that it says nothing about the electronic structure of an atom, how the electrons are distributed around the nucleus, and what are the energies of these electrons. That cannot be explained by this theory. So, as I have already explained that the drawback, if you want to write, you can write is like this in the point wise also. Now, it could not explain the gravitational force in nature. Again, it could not explain the planetary motion under the influence of the gravity. Again, it could not explain Maxwell electromagnetic radiation properties. And again, it cannot explain the quantum mechanics as a whole. Here, quantum mechanics means movement of electron under the influence of heat, we call as a quantum mechanics. So, like this, these are the defects. Now, before going to this, your Bohr's model, okay, first I will explain Bohr's model. In the Bohr's model, what we have done is that when electron lies in the orbit, the electron carry a fixed amount of energy. Then the circular way having the fixed amount of energy we call as orbital. So here we can ask what is the difference between orbit and orbital. What is the difference between orbit and orbital? So orbit means a circular way where the electrons are revolved, that we call as orbit. Whereas orbital means circular way having some specific energy or some stationary energies, that we call as a orbital. So this is what the difference between orbit and the orbital. Again, you can say that in case of orbit, the orbit is generally your spherical round figures, whereas orbital may be spherical or may not be spherical. In case of orbital, later on you can learn s orbital, p orbital, d orbital, f orbital बोल के अलग अलग ग्रुप आएगा, उसमें आपका स्पेरिकल फिगर जो वो नहीं मिलेगा. ओनली s इज द स्पेरिकल शेप. सो लाइक दिस वन ऑर्बिटल होने से अलग अलग शेप आएगा. ऑर्बिट बोलने से ऑलवेज सर्कुलर वे को बोलेगा. दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव. सो now you can see 2.3 of your page number 34. 2.3 of your page number 34. Developments leading to the Bohr's model of an atom. So historically, result observed from the studies of interactions of radiation with matter have proved immense information regarding about the structures of atom and molecules. Niels Bohr utilized these results to improve upon the model proposed by Rutherford. As I have already told that Bohr's model is nothing, the improvement of the Rutherford model. two development play a major role in the formation of Bohr's model of an atom. So Bohr's model को develop करने के लिए हम लोग दो चीज़ को हम लोग रेक्टिफाई कर लिया. First one, dual character of electromagnetic radiation, which means that radiation possesses both wave-like and particle-like properties. So dual characters means क्या बोला, तो कोई भी इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन है उसका दो तरीका का हो सकता है, एक तो वेव पार्टिकल नेचर हो सकता है, एक तो पार्टिकल नेचर हो सकता है. नाउ सेकेंड इज दैट एक्सपेरिमेंटल रिजल्ट्स रिगार्डिंग अबाउट एटॉमिक स्पेक्ट्रा which can be explained only by assuming quantized electronic energy level of in atoms. तो एक में एटॉमिक स्पेक्ट्रा मीन्स बीम ऑफ लाइट. तो एटॉम को हम लोग बीम ऑफ लाइट बोल के ले सकते हैं. तो वो लाइट में अलग अलग एनर्जी कैरी करना पड़ेगा. दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज ए क्वांटानाइज मीन्स एनर्जी. तो एटॉम्स का अंदर में इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है अलग अलग एनर्जी लेवल कैरी करता है. दिस टू कंसेप्ट्स वाज टेकन टू डेवलप द बोर्स मॉडल ऑफ एन एटॉम. तो फर्स्ट में हम लोग ड्यूअल कैरेक्टर ऑफ ए मैटर बोला है. ड्यूअल कैरेक्टर ऑफ ए मैटर मीन्स मैटर जो है हम लोग दो चीज़ होके एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, एक में पार्टिकल नेचर, एक में वेव नेचर बोल के. नाउ लेट अस थिंक इट हाउ ए पार्टिकल बिकम दिस मटेरियल और हाउ ए पार्टिकल बिकम वेव. जो अब अपना शरीर को ले लो, तो अपना शरीर जो है हम लोग जानता है हैविंग मास एंड ऑक्यूपाई स्पेस बोल के. सो ये इसका मतलब क्या है, ये पार्टिकल नेचर है. तो अभी आपका शरीर को वेव होके ले कैसा लेगा. वेव मीन्स हम लोग पानी में एक पत्थर डाल दो वेव आता है, ऐसा करके वेव फॉर्म में कैसा लेगा. सो एज ह्यूमन बॉडी इटसेल्फ ऑल्सो हैव दिस ड्यूअल कैरेक्टर्स. तो सपोज आपका पास में एक कोई किसी ने पीछे से थप्पड़ मारने वाला है, तो अब क्या होता है, अपना आप ऑटोमेटिकली पता चलता है इस तरफ से थप्पड़ आने वाला बोल को, तो उसको प्रिवेंट करने के लिए आप शरीर मुड़ जाता है. इसका मतलब अराउंड सम सर्टेन एरिया द वेव स्प्रेड. सो वेव पुश इन वन साइड, इट स्ट्रक टू द ब्रेन एंड देयर बाय ऑटोमेटिकली योर बॉडी मूव. दैट वी कॉल एज ए रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन बोल के बोलते हैं ना. तो रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन जो है आपको वेव नेचर का चलते हुए हुआ है. सो लाइक दिस वन. So that this indicates that an object can behave as a particle as well as wave. तो ऐसा करके हम लोग पता चलता है. Now we'll go to the electromagnetic wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. So wave nature of electromagnetic radiation के बारे में हम लोग थोड़ा डिस्कस करेगा. Now the interactions between the charged bodies and the behavior of electric and magnetic field on microscopic level was first studied by James Maxwell in the year 1870. तो जेम्स मैक्सवेल ने आपका चार्ज बॉडीज एंड अभी इलेक्ट्रिकल एंड मैग्नेटिक फील्ड का बीच में तो क्या रिलेशन है, तो क्या क्या होता है, जो एकदम इन डिटेल डिस्कशन शुरू होता है. कहाँ में, 1870 में. He suggests that when electrically charged particles move under acceleration or alternating electric or magnetic field are produced and transmitted. अभी चार्ज पार्टिकल जो है एक्सीलरेशन होने के समय में इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड प्रोड्यूस होता है. These fields are transmitted in the form of wave. That wave we call as a electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic radiation. So what is electromagnetic radiation is this. तो अभी हम लोग पता चला है when an electrical charged particle move under the influence of acceleration, then an alternating electrical and magnetic field are produced or transmitted. These fields are transmitted in the form of wave. That wave we call as electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic radiation. Now light is the form of radiation known as old in everyday life, and as we have already know that now this light in the form of matter we have taken as a small packet. That packet we call as a corpuscles. तो अभी लाइट जो है आपका एक पार्टिकल वे में लेने के समय में एक हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, एक पैकेट ऑफ पार्टिकल्स बोल के लेते हैं. उसको पैकेट का नाम क्या दिया था, कॉर्पस्कुल्स बोल के भी दे. CORPUSCULS, कॉपर प्लस बोल के। सो कॉपर प्लस जो है अब हम लोग ऑलरेडी जानता है ये पार्टिकल नेचर में है बोल के। नाउ अभी तो अभी हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे उसके बारे में। विजिबल लाइट इज ए स्मॉल पोर्शन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशंस। तो आपका विजिबल लाइट में 7 कलर जो है वो हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, एक इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन का एक पार्ट है, एंड दैट spectrum detected by our eyes. So visible light is a small portion of electromagnetic radiation spectrums detected by our eyes. Electromagnetic radiations include, so electromagnetic radiation के अंदर में क्या क्या आ सकता है इसको देखो। Electromagnetic radiations include radio waves, microwaves, X-ray, described as the wavelength through space. तो अभी wavelength means एक इधर में हम लोग दो वेब ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं, एक हाइट से दूसरा हाइट तक जाने वाला, उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, वन क्रस्ट टू क्रस्ट और वन ट्रस्ट टू ट्रस्ट वी कॉलेज है वेब लेंथ बोलते हैं। तो कितना दूर जाता है उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, एम्पलीट्यूड बोलते हैं। तो दिस was already done in your class 10, so I will not go on that. तो अभी क्या बोला, there are two components of electromagnetic radiation. One is an electrical field, another one is magnetic field. तो अभी ये कैसा करके जाएगा, अभी हम लोग जानते हैं इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक स्पेक्ट्रम में हम लोग दो तरीका का एक फील्ड रहता है, एक में क्या बोला मैग्नेटिक फील्ड, एक में your electrical field. So how they are oscillated, let us see it in the page number 34 along with the pictures. Roman number 1, you can see it. Number 1, the oscillating electric and magnetic field produced by an oscillating charged particle are perpendicular to each other. अभी इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड जो है परपेंडिकुलर टू इस अदर हो गया बोला, एंड बोथ आर परपेंडिकुलर टू द डायरेक्शन ऑफ प्रोपागेशन ऑफ द वेव. तो अभी डायरेक्शन के साथ भी आपको परपेंडिकुलर होगा बोल के बोला. दैट मीन्स आपका डायरेक्शन ऑफ प्रोपागेशन और इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड, दे ऑल आर परपेंडिकुलर टू वन अनदर. दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू रिकॉल इट अगेन. Unlike sound wave or water wave, electromagnetic wave does not require medium and even can move in the vacuum. So what is the difference between particle wave and electromagnetic wave? This is the first point of difference. The first point में हम लोग particle wave होने से it require medium for propagation. Whereas electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic radiation does not require any medium for propagation. This is what the first point of difference between the particle wave and your electromagnetic wave. In the third point, it is now well established that there is many types of electromagnetic radiations which differ from one another in wavelength or frequency. तो different types of electromagnetic radiation रहता है, उसके बीच में अब लोग wavelength and frequency में difference रहेगा. These constitute what we call as the electromagnetic spectrum. So what do you mean by electromagnetic spectrum? Means that it is the spectrum of electromagnetic radiations. It is the spectrum of electromagnetic radiations which have various wavelength or frequency that we call as the electromagnetic spectrum. Different regions of the spectrum are identified by different names, such as radio frequency. तो आपको frequency को पता चलना है. Radio frequency means 10 to power 6 hertz, and this radio frequency is used for broadcasting purpose. And microwave region, that is around 10 to the power 10 hertz, and this microwave region is used for radar detections, radar के लिए, जो information के लिए. Now infrared region, that is 10 to the power 13 hertz, and this infrared region is used for heating purpose. तो हम लोग सोलर से जो मिलता है, सोलर से लाइट मिलता है, हीट मिलता है, दिस इज इन दिस रेंज, दैट इज 10 to the power 13 hertz. Again, ultraviolet is around 10 to the power 16 hertz, and a small portions around 10 to the power 15 hertz, which we call as a visible light. जो हम लोग का 7 कलर हो, जो white light जो है, उसका frequency कितना बोला, 10 to the power 15 hertz है. So only this part can be detected by our naked eye. So this 10 to the power 15 hertz तक हम लोग naked eye ने detect कर सकता है. Now different kinds of unit are used for representing your electromagnetic radiation. The radiations are characterized namely as frequency and wavelength. तो अभी frequency बोल के चीज़ होगा, wavelength बोल के एक चीज़ होगा. Through that you need to explain all the radiations. The SI unit of frequency is hertz. तो SI unit of frequency क्या बोला, hertz है. The and it is defined as the number of wave that passes at a given point in 1 second. So what do you mean by hertz? Means it is the number of wave that passes a given point in 1 second. एक सेकेंड में पर्टिकुलर गिवन पॉइंट में कितना वेव पास होता है, इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग आपका हर्ट्ज बोल के. नाउ वेव लेंथ अभी क्या है, wave length means मीटर है. so the unit of wave length, that is SI unit of wave length is मीटर होगा. Now this is what we have seen, and then again you can underline it in page number 35. आपका velocity of light in ear जो है 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. This is what velocity of light in vacuum. So this was represented by C. Now let us see what is the relation between frequency, wavelength and velocity of light. So these questions we can ask, and it is very important for the calculation part also. What is the, if you want to write, you can write it. What is the relation between wavelength, frequency and velocity of light? What is the relation between wavelength, frequency and velocity of light? Your relation is C is the velocity, C is equal to, mean the velocity of light is equal to velocity of light, that is C is equal to V by lambda, that means frequency by lambda. So frequency into lambda, V equal to C equal to lambda into V, you can say lambda into V. So here C indicates that your velocity of light, and V indicates that frequency, and lambda indicates that wavelength. So or you can write wave nature of light, on that some formula is given that you can write it.